Morning, everyone. We're going to start with standing. So we're going to stand this morning, so you know what you're up against now. So Ardha Chandrasana is going to be the first pose. So bring your toes and heels to touch. Just remember, if that's a bit dicey with your balance, just make sure you bring your feet apart to how far you need to balance. Okay, so you just want to be comfortable with this, not uncomfortable. So toes and heels touch if you can. Make sure you squeeze the glutes and bring the hips slightly forward. That's going to bend the knees slightly and click the hamstrings on. Inhale, arms up, interlace all 10 fingers, release the index finger, and then come down to the left, to the right, and then just nice and slow. Beautiful. Start feeling that body flowing. Then come back to center. So we'll start on the left, so just push down through the heels, squeeze glutes, tilt hips slightly forward, reach up, shoulder blades together, so just turn them back together. Inhale, reach, exhale, come down to the left, and hold on the left. So get to a place where you're feeling the stretch, and then just hold. Then what I want you to do is bring the weight to the heels. So bring the weight back to the heels, bring the left shoulder towards the camera slightly, and then come down a little bit deeper. Breathe, don't stop breathing. Come down a little bit deeper, and then slowly come up. Doing the same, so weight in heels, squeeze glutes. Tilt the hips slightly forward, reach up, bring those shoulder blades towards each other, then come down to the right. Come down as far as you can to feel that stretch. Then bring the weight into the heels. And bring that right shoulder towards the camera as you come down a little bit deeper. Holding there, breathing. And then slowly coming up. So now it's the back bend. So squeeze the glutes, hips forward, reach up, drop the head back. Just remember and listen to your body. So just go where you need to go to today. This could be enough, but keep pushing the hips forward. Or bring the arms back with the ears. Push the hips forward. So wherever you are, hold. Keep rolling the eyes back, hold. Roll the eyes back, push the hips forward once more. Come all the way up. Nice and slow. And then work your way down into the forward bend. Just release those hips by lifting the heels up to toes, one at a time. Then bring the feet together or where you need them to be. Bend the knees, bring the stomach to the thighs. Really important to do that. And then if you can grab your heels, stand on your fingers, that would be great. If not, grab the backs of your ankles or your calves. Wherever you are, you need to pull and stretch. So we want to slowly start stretching those legs, so straightening the legs as you pull, and bring the head closer to the toes as you lift the hips up higher to the ceiling. So pull and stretch. Pull and stretch. Get those hips up a little bit higher. Get the stomach closer to the thighs. And bring the head down as deep as it can go as you lift the hips up. And then slowly release. Bend the knees. Bring the hands all the way up, palms together. And then release. Just have a breath or two here. In Tadasana and mountain pose. So we're going to finish this one off with dangling. So just grab the hips again like we have been doing and find that bone that sticks out there in the hip. Bring the shoulder blades together, chin away from the chest, and tilt the hips yourself. So tilt them and come forward. You'll feel that tilt, then you'll be able to feel that without having your hands there eventually. And then come down, fold, stomach towards the thighs, and then just dangle. Remember, if you need bent legs, have them. Bent knees. But the whole idea is to get that head, the weight of the head just dropping down. Okay, so you want, it's the heaviest part of the body, so just let it take you down, and then your hips are going to come up. And just breathe. Nice deep inhales through the nose, exhales through the nose. You've got a minute more here. Continually take the deeper inhale as you keep dropping down lower. So inhale, we lengthen through the spine. Exhale, we drop lower into the pose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, drop lower. Thirty seconds to go. And when you're ready, we're going to bring the fingers to the floor. Walk the toes out, the feet out. Turn the toes out, heels in. Then we sit into garland pose. Start opening the hips. So today is all about hips. So just wanted to get that blood flowing through the spine first so we can get deeper into the hips. The hamstrings now got blood flowing through. Opening up. So just remember and work on a straight spine, okay? You mightn't have it now, but just work towards that. And to do that, we need to bring the shoulder blades together and the sternum up, okay? So fingers, the thumbs, sorry, pointing into the sternum, and just keep working them up, okay? Working the sternum up. And just breathe. So you've got the option to stay in this for the whole 3 minutes like this. But we're going to do some twisting in this as well. So just take whatever option is good for you today. So if you want to come into a bind or into a twist, or even into just lengthening through the shoulders, you can bring the right hand down. Place it on the inside of the right foot. Push that elbow against the right leg as you lift that left arm up, and reach up as high as you can. So this is the stacking of the shoulders. So we're trying to get the shoulders in line and reaching up and pushing down. Or you can come into the bind. So bring the hand around, grab the inside of the thigh or maybe the lower back or some clothing, and twist. So they're your options. If you want to go back just into garland, just do that. Now with this, what happens is you bring the weight into the toes and you'll feel that. So just feel that now if you're in it. So now bring the weight back to the heels. Twist if you're twisting. If you just got your left arm up, reach, keep reaching. If you're just in garland, keep your working on straight spine. When you're ready, lift that left hand up, reach up as high as you can. Bring the palm back to the middle of the chest, bring the right hand up. Straighten the spine, left hand down, right hand up. Again, just push that left elbow into the leg, reach up as high as you can. Either hold here, palm to the lower back, reach around the inside of the thigh, twist. Feel that weight come to the toes, now drop back to the heels and twist. And when you're ready, reach up with the right hand, coming back into garland. We've got 10 seconds. Just straighten that spine. Come down as deep as you can go. And release. So just bring the hands down in front of you and then come straight into wide-legged child's pose. So we're just working deep in those hips now. So toes together, knees out wide, hips back. You can have a bolster or a cushion in front of you if you like. And just come into child's pose. We've got 3 minutes in child's pose. So your hips now should be really starting to open just after that pose, straight into child's pose, which is a hip opener. What we're doing is really working the lower back as well now. So in child's pose, you've got the option just to have the forehead on the floor, but it's really nice just to roll the forehead nice and slow on the floor, just from side to side. So that's your option. You can do that and go back to stillness or just continue it through the time. What we're doing here is just stimulating the pineal gland, but relaxing everything around the forehead, clearing the mind. And just remember what I said, I think it was last week, about the intuition. Your intuition starts here, or is part of here. It doesn't start there. So we're putting a bit of pressure on this area that stimulates the intuition. So you're just over halfway through here. A minute to go. Get those hips back if you can. Don't forget to breathe. Focus on the breath. And when you're ready, we're going to come into prone position. So slide forward, coming onto the stomach. Just resting those hips down. And just come into crocodile pose, so toes out wide. Stack the hands, bring the head onto the hands. So we're just going to come into a few back bends before we move back into hips. So when you're ready, we'll come into Sphinx pose. So bring your feet together. Elbows underneath the shoulders, bring the shoulder blades together. So just roll those together now and then lift. Then you can push the sternum up. So it's like you're just lifting with the shoulder blades together and shooting the sternum up. Just holding there. I'm going to hold this for about a minute. And just remember the sternum needs to be lifted constantly because you get a little bit lazy there and it just wants to drop off. So I always just every now and again think shoulder blades, sternum, shoulder blades, sternum. Keep breathing as you lift again. Shoulder blades together, breathe, lift. And then slowly start coming down. Back into crocodile pose, rest in crocodile pose. So we really worked intense down the lower back there. So now we'll work through the rest of the spine just for this next one. A couple more breaths. And when you're ready, bring the feet together. Bring the hands down by the sides of the body, just away from the body, a bit palms on the floor. Then we're going to lift just the chest off the floor. Keep the palms on the floor, chest off the floor. This is where we bring the shoulder blades together. So chest up, shoulder blades together, hands are still on the floor, so are the feet. So now we're going to come up a little bit higher with the chest and lift the hands up. Chin up, chest up, arms up. Now lift the legs up. So thighs off the floor. So holding there. Just hold in a spot where you can hold and get a bit of stillness. Focus on the breath. So now lift the thighs up a little bit higher and feel that lower back. And now lift the chest up and just feel the compression in the back as you come up a little bit higher. So chin up, chest up, arms up, legs up. Chin up, chest up, arms up, legs up. Bring those feet up as high as you can go. Bring the chest up, arms up, and exhale, come down. Back into crocodile pose. That is a really good strengthening pose of the back. Just let that breath settle. Every time we back bend, the breathing will get quicker. So we just want to settle that down. That's the adrenaline pumping through the body. So before we move into another pose, that adrenaline needs to slow. And when you're ready, help yourself up. So just help yourself up. We're going to come into a seated position. We're going to move into hips. So we've got 3, 4 hip poses in a row. The first one is square pose. So most of you will be familiar with that one. So left leg down. So left leg upwards. Making sure you haven't got the heel up against the butt. Okay, it's a completely different stretch than Padmasana. So bring the leg down, right leg up. Really probably tight there this morning, and that's fine. This weather, cold, and stacking there. So once you're stacked, have a look down and make sure you've got space between your buttocks and your legs. Okay, so you've got space between there. If you haven't, you need to push those shins away from you. Remember, if that's too much, if you're sitting like that, always do one leg. And you can place a bolster or a cushion underneath you just to hold on that. If you're in this, depending on how you feel today, you can start coming forward. But if your leg's up like that and you're still working your leg, try not to come forward, just work that leg down first, then start coming forward. Okay, so we've got 3 minutes either side in this, so you can slowly just work your way through it with breath. So just think about where you are, so just understand your body right now. So if your right knee is raised up high, but you're still fairly comfortable in that pose, what your job is to make sure that knee comes down. Okay, so that's your job. So the best thing to do, what I used to do, is just lean on the knee without pushing too hard and just coax the knee down. If you've got a block, you can place that underneath that leg and you can coax yourself down, and eventually you just keep moving that block outwards and outwards and outwards and then away. Then once you get into this position, you can start coming forward. If you've got one leg out, always make sure you've got something under here. And again, you're working that knee downwards. And if you feel that you're right to come forward, you can have a cushion or you can have whatever you need to stack up in front of you and bring that forehead down towards the floor. Don't try and rush this pose too much. Don't try and get into the full pose too quickly. Don't try and come forward too quickly. Always just break the pose down to where you're at and just move to that next section. You get much more benefit out of the pose, but you'll get into the final pose a lot quicker. So you've got a minute to go. This pose used to be really excruciating for me, like it was just the worst pose in the world. And now it's quite a nice pose to sit in. So it's just patience, practice. And it's just about understanding your body as well and understanding where you need to go next and just go through that motion. So if you've got tight hips today, you're not going to have them. This is probably, I haven't done a hip class like this for quite a while, where it's just focused totally on hips. So when you're ready, slowly come out. You're going to reach the legs forward, give them a bit of a shake, then we're moving to the other side. So shake them out, get that, particularly that right knee, you want the blood pumping through that right knee. Then bring the right leg down, left leg up. Again, set yourself up. Set yourself up to where you need to be. Don't push too far ahead. You're not going to get anything out of pushing too far ahead. And you'll always find in yoga poses, you tend to regress before you progress. So you feel like you're doing really good in a pose, and then for a week or so, you start regressing, and then all of a sudden, bang, you're into that next level. Okay, so always listen to your body, because it's your body saying where you are and what you need. You'll always find one side is easier than the other. This side's a lot freer for me. And now we're a minute in. This is where we start getting that stillness. It usually takes about a minute in this pose to work out where you need to be and find that restriction, so where you're up to in the pose. So now it's stillness, breath, and just allowing yourself to do what you need to do in the pose. Allow your body to tell you what you need to do, not your mind. So the last minute, just work with that breath, just the breath. Don't think of anything else, just breathe. And just when you've got things going on in your mind, particularly in poses like this, it's usually my ankle's not comfortable, this is not comfortable, this is not comfortable. You're not really progressing in the pose. But if you just breathe, all that just drifts away, just drops off. And when you're ready, slowly coming out of the pose. Coming straight into Shavasana. We haven't had a Shavasana yet, so we need to spend a good minute in Shavasana before the next hip opener. And just feel that sensation through the hips and the knees and the ankles. Don't get into the habit of getting into Shavasana and this is where you start thinking. I used to do that. I was thinking, oh, good Shavasana, now I can think about what I'm going to do later. But this is more vital to keep the mind still. So when you're ready, bend the knees up, have a squeeze, and then rolling up to a seated position. So we're going to come into frog pose. So there's two ways we can do frog pose. So the regress version is happy baby. So we just come into that pose there. That's if you feel like just being supported on the back, just come into happy baby. If not, you can come into full frog pose, which is knees out, toes out, hips back, chest up, and then slowly work your way down. Again, you can have anything in front of you, like bolsters or cushions. So get yourself as comfortable as possible. Make sure you're feeling that tension in the hip flexors. You want to feel that pull. You don't want to feel pain, but you want to feel it stretching. You can always jump out and go into child's pose, not child's pose, what's the other one? Happy baby, if you need to. Or if you have too much of the pose, just flip over and go straight into Shavasana. Just pushing those hips back. Keep breathing. So you're just on halfway through now. So last minute, so in this minute, try and be as still as possible. It's a real challenge in this pose. So be as still as possible. I don't mean just physically, mentally as well. So in other words, you're only focusing on breath, nothing else. Last 10 seconds. So when you're ready, slowly come out of the pose. Just push the chest away from the floor. And then, totally up to you. Yeah, you get out of that in that pose. And I know a lot of you before Easter would not last 3 minutes in that pose. So everyone's doing really well. Just feel that sensation through the hips. It feels pretty amazing. And when you're ready, give yourself a squeeze. Just take your time this time. You can roll on the lower back. You can pull the knees in. Just enjoy that forward bend. I'm going to move into a forward bend now with a hip opener as well. So just roll up to a seated position. We're going to come into Baddha Konasana, so sitting on the seat bones, bring the soles of the feet together, push the feet away so you've got that nice diamond shape. This is a really good pose, a nice pose. I usually do this early, but I want you to feel how your hips have opened through those two pretty intense poses. You probably get into this a little bit deeper than you normally do. So when you're ready, just interlace all 10 fingers around the feet, pull on the feet. You're not pulling on the feet, you're not getting into the pose correctly. So you need to pull on the feet, chin up, chest up, and then come forward. Remember, you can have anything in front of you, a cushion, a bolster, a block, whatever you need. Rest your head on if you like, but keep pulling on those feet. Keep dropping the knees away. So it's Baddha Konasana, which is butterfly pose. So they're wings, so we need to be working them, so pushing them down. We want them down onto the floor. and just work into this pose. I think as forward as you can. So if you're pulling on the feet, you're bringing the shoulder blades together and you're lengthening through the spine. So just keep lengthening through the spine. And as you come deeper and deeper, you keep bringing that chin towards the chest. We're lengthening again through the spine. So continually work on the length of the spine. So inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, come deeper into the pose. So you should feel a lot more released in the adductor muscles, so inside the hip flexors, just from the pose that we've done before this. And the benefits of this pose, once you get right down onto, like head onto the toes, it's a really nice way to learn how to keep your toenails trimmed. You can start chewing them. So you've got 35 seconds to go. So getting deeper into the pose is 35 seconds. Just work on lengthening the spine on the inhale, getting deeper on the exhale. Lengthening and then deeper. And then slowly come up. We're just going to stretch the legs out, give them a shake and do some windshield wipers, because we'll just stay in this position for the next pose. Just shake them out, then some windshield wipers. So the next pose, I always look at it as really important in yoga because of the amount of things that's happening in the pose. And we've warmed ourselves up to get there quite comfortably. So we're coming into dragonfly and we're going to stay in dragonfly for a bit of an extra today. No extra cost, just stay in dragonfly a bit longer. So legs out wide. You can turn sideways on your mat or get comfortable how you need to there. And you'll start, like, I just feel it there, just the opening here, just from the poses that we've just done. So it's really good. And then lengthen through the spine. Always make sure you got something in front of you if you need it. Lengthen through the spine on the inhale, exhale, come forward, slowly coming down. Keep pushing those heels away if you can. Have a slight bend in your knees if you need to. And work your way down. That's good. See people stacking things up. Really nice to have things stacked up in front of you. It'll help you get down into that pose a lot quicker. So when I first started in this pose, I've just stacked up 2 bolsters and a block. And this is without a word of a lie. This is exactly how I used to be in the pose. That was it. Okay, so there's hope for everyone, believe me. And now it's the progression. You slowly take one of those things away and you'll start progressing down. So this is really, really giving you a good hamstring stretch. Okay. And we're opening the hips nice and deep, opening the hips. We're getting that pelvic tilt, what we need to start loosening, start stretching all the hip flexors. And once we get that pelvic tilt right, you'll be able just to move into that next section. That's what's just holding you back. It's the ligaments pulling on the tendons and the ligaments pulling on the muscles. And the hips that are stopping you. So this, getting that correct tilt, is going to get you down more and more. But that's what you've got to be patient with, is that. Keep breathing, be as still as you can now. The only time you want to move is any progression. So if you're slowly getting deeper, moving your block or whatever it is, it's the only time you want to move. So you've got 2 minutes left. Keep breathing. Keep lengthening through the spine. Keep dropping into the pose a little bit deeper, just allowing yourself to do that. Don't force it. You've got 1 minute left. So last few seconds. When you're ready, slowly come out of this pose. It will probably hurt coming out, but nice Shavasana. Laying back, allowing that blood to go through. So we've got a good minute and a bit in Shavasana here. But once that settles down low after that pose, just feel your hips now, just feel the difference. Feel how light they are instead of that heaviness when you wake up. And that's all just about energy, blood flow, prana. When you're ready, bring the knees up and just squeeze. Just feel the difference there. with that stretch. Squeeze in, then rolling up. We're going to finish off with a nice little deer flow. So just coming up to a seated position and come into deer pose. So dropping the left knee down, the right knee comes underneath the left foot. Just remember, if your hips feel nice and open and you want to go a little bit deeper, bring that knee further away from the foot. And we'll start with a forward bend. So just come forward and just walk those hands forward. You can have anything in front of you again, anything to make you comfortable. So this is continuing into the hip opening part, but here we're getting a stretch through the left glute as well. So we're stretching the glute here, lengthening through the spine, obviously, which we do on all the poses. So keep that breath going. So we're lengthening through the spine. Now I've said this a lot, but this flow here, if you're looking for something, a nice bit of yoga to do every day, it's awesome. You're getting a lot of stuff happening just in the 3 poses that we do here. You'll notice that some PTs have stolen this off me, their clients. But it is a really nice stretching process before and after any exercise. Just notice the balance of your body when you come forward. So if your hips are still really tight, you're going to be moving closer to that left knee as you come forward. Eventually, you'll just come straight over the middle of the shin. So when you're ready, slowly come up. And then we're going to move to the back bend part of it. Well, more of a stretch through the quad with this. So we're going to come back. And again, just feel where you need to be. I'm getting a really good stretch in the quad there. So I'll just come down to my elbows. You can have bolsters or cushions behind you. And you can work your way to the floor as well if you like.
Kitchen cupboards.
Yeah, kitchen cupboards, you can lean on them. But make sure that knee doesn't lift. It needs to be on the floor. That's the opening of the hip here. So lengthening through the quad, opening through the hip, stretching the ankle, and also getting that blood flow through the pelvic region. When you're ready, slowly coming up. And we move straight into the twist. So we twist to the side, to the left. So you can bring whatever you've got down to the side and just come into a really nice, comfortable twist. You'll feel that right hip coming up and over, so we're twisting through the spine. Just slow the breath down. Calming everything down now. So you probably feel really open through the hips. But what happens when we do a big hip class like this is it's an emotional detox, basically. So we're really pushing those emotions around. So if you're just walking along the street and burst into tears for no reason, well, that's probably the reason. Or you might be ecstatic all day. Just go with it. Just allow whatever happens to happen. The last 10 seconds now. Slowly untwist, coming out of the pose. We're going to move to the other side. Just bend the right knee down. Bring the right knee down on the floor, left knee up against the foot or away from the leg, depending on how you feel. And then coming forward, first one. So work your way forward again. Just allow yourself to come down, feel where your body is. And if you're more towards that knee, just try and work your way further around as much as you can. Okay, so the progression is to come straight forward. And the more you come straight forward, the more you're going to release that the tightness in the glute. Just relax in the pose. You've got a minute to go. So just you and the breath. So when you're ready, slowly working your way up and then moving into the back bend or into the quad stretch. So working your way back. Making sure that knee stays on the ground, not lifting off the ground. If it's lifting off the ground, you've gone too far. So just back off a touch. last few breaths here. So when you're ready, slowly working your way up and coming into the final part of the pose, the twist. So bringing the bolster or whatever you've got to the right and then twisting to the right. So this is the final pose for Shavasana. Just enjoy that twist. So final minute. Just sink deeper and deeper into this pose. Just become most relaxed that you've been throughout the class. Just make the most of the last 3 minutes of the class. Could be the last 3 minutes you get to spend totally dedicated to yourself. So just enjoy that. And when you're ready, helping yourself up and coming into the final pose, Shavasana. So just laying on your back. We've got a couple of minutes here. Try and finish right on 8:30 to let people get into their day. So just relax for this next few minutes. You always need a good couple of minutes at least in Shavasana at the end of a class. I know sometimes time comes and you've got to go, but Shavasana is really, really important. So we've got 2 minutes in Shavasana now. So what I want you to do is just focus on the sensations around your hips. So you've got a lot of points that you can focus on. So just move through the areas that we've worked on. So the hip flexors, the adductor muscles, which are inside the hip, the inside part of the hip flexors. Just feel that area. Then maybe move to the outside and work on the hamstrings. Feel it all as one as well. And just feel how light that area is now. Now just bring the focus to the two bony bits on the hips, what we grab when we do that forward bend. And just try and visualize and imagine those parts of the body. Then bring your awareness to your glutes that are touching the ground. Now finally bring your awareness to the breath, the natural breath going in and out of the nose. Feel the calmness of the body and the lightness of the body. While you're in Shavasana, just giving yourself a bit of thanks and praise for dedicating Friday morning on the mat to yourself. Pass on a gratitude, if you like, to someone or something in your life. Then start wiggling the toes, the fingers, rolling to the right-hand side, have a breath. And then working your way up into Sukhasana, comfortable seated pose. Bring your hands into prayer position. And thank you all for coming this morning, for being in your lounge rooms and gyms, etc. And allow me to take you through the class. It's been such a pleasure to do so. And have a wonderful Friday. See you all again soon. Namaste.